I'm going to show you how to actually care for the erasers and blending stumps. This is actually a retractable eraser. It happens to be broken right now, but it's a really thin, long eraser that actually is really good for detail work. And it's a little bit dirty. I could actually clean it by just erasing right onto the paper, and you can actually see some material is actually coming right off of that eraser, and if I turn the eraser around you can see where I've cleaned it and where I haven't. And literally I'm just erasing on a blank sheet of paper until all of this pastel comes off of that eraser. The next thing that I'm going to show you is I can literally do the same thing with my larger eraser. Here I've got some pastel, purple and pink pastel on my eraser. Same thing with the bigger eraser. I'm just going to take and I'm going to erase, and I can actually pull off some of the vinyl because this is just technically a vinyl eraser. And then I might even want to try to erase the whole side. I can see it's going to take me a little bit of time to do that. I'm not really going to use the whole eraser, so I'm just going to clean this little edge in order to go and lift some of the color off of what I want to take things off of. Another thing that I can do is I can actually take my small eraser and I can take an X-Acto knife, and I can, by cutting away from myself, I can actually cut this eraser into more of a point. So I'm actually going to just carve parts of this eraser away, and notice how I'm carving away from my finger so that hopefully I don't cut myself. Again, if I do cut myself, there are bandages by the door to the courtyard. So here I'm going to just be really gentle as I continue to cut, and I'm trying to make a point with this eraser that looks similar to what a pencil tip would look like. So here I've got more of a pointed eraser, and I can make a much smaller mark with that eraser if I wanted to. Here we can see I've got a kneaded eraser. The way that you clean a kneaded eraser is you're technically going to pull the eraser apart, and it cleans itself. It sometimes snaps on you, sort of like a piece of gum. And basically I'm just going to continue to pull that until the whole eraser is white again instead of having any of that pastel color on it. So there I've cleaned my eraser and I can use it again. Sometimes as I'm using my blending stumps, I can see that I've gotten a lot of pastel on this. The other side of this blending stump has some pastel on it also, but I want to actually use it with a different medium now. So I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to continue to rub the blending stump on the sandpaper until I get all of that pastel color off. And I might actually need to use an additional piece of sandpaper until I get all of that other color back off of the tip. So here I've got a really nice clean, at least very on the tip, I've got it all nice and clean, and I can go back and use my blending stump again. You want to be careful not to press directly straight down, or I don't want to press straight down on the blending stump this direction, because what will happen is I'll actually make it into a round instead of in a point. And the whole point of using the blending stump is I want to be able to get into really tiny details that my fingers can't do. So I want to make sure that I'm staying on an angle and cleaning all of that stuff off so that I keep that really nice point on my blending stump that I want to work with.